Hey everybody, and welcome to JoJers Wild Side. I am Lobo,
I'm Jax.
and today we got a filled storyboard here. But first of all, how you been, Jax? Everything all right?
Yeah, mostly well. Yourself?
I've been all right, man. Cold as hell out here. With the storm brewing in, yeah, it's definitely getting real cold.
Oh yeah.
So everybody out here in the what is this Midwestern, mostly Midwest area, with the storms coming in, be careful out there, especially if you're driving. Um, But let's jump back into the news. We have a lot of news today. First of all, we want to talk about what happened after the Bills win in Miami. There was a fan that unfortunately was killed um, near the Miami Stadium. They think it was a Miami fan. They haven't confirmed yet. Uh, I don't know. You said it best in the as we were talking about this, man.
We shouldn't be elevating our desire and needs for sports to come to the point that somebody is killed. And I understand that we don't have the full story here of what exactly happened. For all we know, the Bills fan was the one antagonizing and harassing the Miami's fan. We do not know 100% for certain or who even did the action. But it should not be elevated to the point where we are harming one another over sports. It is a ridiculous facet.
Yeah. I mean, I love sports. I love my teams. Hardcore. I've been a Raider fan for over 20 years. Most of that has sucked. But this is why I don't go to many Raider games. They fight, put it this way, Raiders fight Raiders. They're probably the craziest fans that will fight the same fan base, and it's just, I get it. Love your teams. Cheer for them every time. But to the point where you're causing damage to you, someone else, and possibly killing someone like they did here, it's passing the line for sure. I know this happens also a lot in LA with a lot of their teams, but regardless, we just want to touch on that subject. No, we love sports. We love our teams, but it should never get to this point. Now, enough.
It's just a game.
You're right, 100%. Although some people definitely take it more seriously than that.
Especially the people dropping a lot of money on it too.
Yeah.
But besides the point.
Besides the point, love your team, support your team. Don't cause anybody else body slam because they root for something else or someone else. Okay, that's not the point here. The point is to be distracted and have fun. That's all that is. Now, with that out of the way, we got some bad news too. More bad news.
But less severe bad news.
Yes, agreed. This is not life or death. There's a lot of head coaches were let go this week.
Definitely a lot.
Let's start off with the biggest one. I'm going to go a little out of order here. The Patriots and head coach Bill Belichick have decided to part ways amicably, as they said in their press conference. This is a big news, as they were a dynasty for 20 whatever years that Bill was in the Patriots. He won 6 Super Bowls, if I remember correctly. Was at 9 or 10 Super Bowls. I mean, that's unheard of. That is never going to happen again, in my opinion. All
right.
So for them to part ways, it was time for something new. But with that being said, the Patriots have announced their new head coach, and is Jared Mayo, former linebacker of the Patriots as well.
That's a interesting move.
Yeah.
There's obviously they made him the head coach for a very specific reason, right? But does he have what it takes to lead and be a head coach? That is my big question. Obviously, they made him that.
Yeah.
So they must have good backing reason of why they would do that.
Yeah. I mean, he has been working with the Patriots for years, so I think they saw his potential. Would this work out? We don't know. It has not always worked out with similar moves in the past, like the Colts a few years ago. They hired their old lineman as a head coach, and he did okay, but was definitely not the right fit for it.
They're trying to do some water boy stuff right now, from what I can tell.
Not off by a lot, but anyways. Also with that, Seattle Seahawks have announced head coach Pete Carroll will no longer be their head coach. He will be like an advisor, still in the building. It's a little contradictory to what Pete Carroll said in the press conference. He mentioned that he was still trying to fight to be a head coach because he wanted to be a head coach. Then why not be a head coach somewhere else? That's what I don't understand.
Undying loyalties.
That's the only idea I have to myself. He likes being a Seattle Seahawk. He likes the building. He likes all that, and he's loyal to them. The thing is, if you want something that bad, especially if you want to be a head coach in the NFL, there's only 32 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go further? There's plenty of them out there.
A whole bunch of teams just opened up. We
Yeah.
can tell you that right freaking now for free.
I mean, during the season, the Chargers opened up, the Raiders opened up. The Panthers have let go of their coach. Washington let go of their coach, which we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with that, Tennessee Titans have fired their head coach, Mike Vrabel, after a few years. This last year was very
rough.
Rough is a very nice word. I think it was abysmal to what they had planned. The last few years, they were playoffs and Super Bowl contenders. This year, nowhere near that. So definitely a disappointing season. So I understand why they made this move. But also, Broncos. Big news with the Broncos. It looks like they're going to release their quarterback, Russell Wilson, after, 2-3 years with them?
I know that we have a mutual friend that is rolling right now.
I'm pretty sure he's happy. I'm pretty sure he's happy.
Oh, you think he's happy?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, the way that he did talk about him a little bit is like, yeah, he's getting paid this much when he should be making this much. So I can see it.
Also, with another head coach leaving his spot, Alabama head coach Nick Saben has announced his retiring after the season.
After what? 40 years, was it?
It was about that. 40 years. The last 20 or so has been with Alabama. He has won 7 national championships with them. That is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Put it this way. 13 of the last 16 have either been Alabama or a team that beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So that just shows you how much influence and what his legacy will be as the head coach of Alabama. So he's moving on to something else. It was kind of rumored and felt during the season as he was doing something he's never done when he appeared multiple times in the Pat McAfee show talking about how he prepares and all his ins and outs during the season, his play and all that. So there was a lot of rumors and a lot of talk about him possibly retiring from the Alabama head coach spot.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's been definitely in the works for a minute.
Yes, or at least it sounds like. Well, what's interesting here is both Nick Saben and Bill Belichick were coaches together in the past, back in the Browns, if I remember correctly, back in the day. Can they be joining up to lead another team together? Can you imagine that? The best head coach in football history, and possibly the best head coach in college football history. I think they're gonna make another dynasty with somebody else if they do that. I'm not saying it. It's just a little thought thrown out there by multiple sources.
All right. I can see it.
Also, with more people being let go, New York Giants and DC Wink. I was gonna say masturbate.
Martindale.
Jeez, I was gonna butcher
Martindale. Yeah, I can see where you could get several different words from that.
Wink Martindale have parted ways after not a great season for New York, specifically their defense. I did not see many New York Giants games for the reason is they kind of suck most of the year. Yeah,
they didn't play too well. Neither of the New York teams played really well.
Yeah, but New York Jets had a great defense. But yeah, they decided to part ways, and their performance says this was justified.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of DCs being let go, Jags have also let go of their DC Mike Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
Caldwell. And also multiple assistants, I'm guessing on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a destabilization there.
Yeah. I mean, let's just put it this way. They had the AFC South crown in their hands.
Mm.
And they choked on the line. Specifically, their defense let go some games that they shouldn't have. And they lost that seed in the playoffs, and they were eliminated from the playoffs. So, I understand this move. Unfortunately, if you don't show, what have you done for me lately? It's pretty much
that. Yeah, exactly.
If you don't put,
are you paying your worth?
Exactly. Then one positive I want to talk about here before we go into the playoffs and the injuries that we have. There's a few things. One is Houston Texans. The story of it last year was they were dead last in the whole league. Okay? They got the number 1 overall pick, and they got their quarterback. This year, they won their division, and they're hosting a playoff game at home.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bengals did a very similar thing a few years ago. The Cincinnati Bengals. So it shows you, if you get your right guy, you get the right coach, the right people around them, from one year to the next, you go from abysmal to possible Super Bowl contender.
So it does raise a few questions for me, honestly. And the biggest thing is all of the firings of the head coaches justified because the coach wasn't doing a good job? Or, as you just said, them coming together for having the right people at the right time? Is it, flat out the question is it the coach's issue? Or is it the coach not having the ability to do what he wants because people are holding him up?
So, I think it's both, and that's a great question, by the way. So, it could be looked both for many ways. The way some people look at this and the way I think it's the right way. If you have a stable office or in a company or in the franchise, a stable office, a stable general manager, and a decent general manager, and a good head coach, the fourth one after that is a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But with those 3 things, everything else could fall under it and could most likely succeed. If you look at Super Bowl champions, teams that succeed far into the playoffs, they usually have those 3 things. Now, for the most part, a stable organization, they got a good GM, and they got a good coach.
Now, I will take the argument to this. A head coach is a leader, and a leader is supposed to be able to work with what they have.
100%.
So if they can't adjust and fix with the people that they have, they either need to make executive decisions that really suck for everybody, and only benefit, 1 or 2 people, but that's the price of winning. Mm-hmm. So I can see where it is possibly the head coach, and also the head coach not delivering what he needs to do and make those rough decisions for everybody else.
Yes. And that's what it is. You do need a good head coach that can lead and can lead men, not just lead anybody. But also,
that game's going crazy.
Yes, it is.
Gotta point that out.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Sorry, we got the score up here for some NBA games. But also with what is showing here in Houston is last year they got rid of their coach and they got a new one.
Mm-hmm.
He got his quarterback. You also need a quarterback. I'm not saying it's the end all be all because there have been teams that have won a Super Bowl without a good quarterback or gotten to a Super Bowl without a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So you can be successful. The problem is it makes it that much difficult. Also, a good quarterback, as you can see with the Bengals and now Houston, it can make the difference of playoff bound or not, to make it possible to a Super Bowl or not, to turn around a whole franchise in a snap. So that's what it shows here, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations to Houston. They did what many people cannot do for decades. Put it this way: the Browns for decades shuffled quarterbacks. Detroit for decades shuffled quarterbacks. Raiders for decades shuffled quarterbacks, and they could not get back on the track. So let's go Houston. They play who they play this week.
The Browns. Browns at Texans.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Another point that I want to make here on another playoff game: Green Bay rookie quarterback Jordan Love makes his first playoff appearance. With what the history of Green Bay has been with Jordan Love and the Aaron Rodgers situation, that was not really them; it was the media pushing for that situation, and animosity. How much pressure is on him? Because Jordan Love would, if he succeeds in any way, he'll be the third straight quarterback drafted by Green Bay that succeeds in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre and wins the Super Bowl. Brett Favre had a legendary career. Aaron Rodgers right after that also won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
If Jordan Love, why do I want to call him Jaron? If Jordan Love,
because the name down below.
Oh yeah. If Jordan Love succeeds, this could be another quarterback
Green Bay
has chosen well.
Could be manufacturers of superpowers. So
Yes.
we'll see, But they also ruined Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know if they ruined Aaron Rodgers. I think it's just the animosity there kind of ruined the whole situation.
Nah, I was just teasing out there. So.
But let's jump now into the playoff games that are coming up here. Tomorrow we got two games. We got the Browns and Texans, and then the Dolphins and Kansas City.
Mm.
The Browns have cornerback Denzel Ward. He'll be out most likely with the knee injury. He injured in practice. It's questionable, actually. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Questionable. But their wide receiver Amari Cooper, former Raider receiver, is eyeing the return for this Saturday, for tomorrow, for that same game. So it is not the same position, obviously, but
yeah.
Getting another weapon back, that always helps. Though I think the Texans or the Browns will win. We had talked about this on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have here?
I don't remember who I put, but I'm playing it off here because that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Because this is actually going to be a pretty good match.
Yeah. You want me to go first so then you could go off of?
Yeah, you hit it.
Okay.
Because I have like two very big different thoughts right now.
Okay. So we just praised the Texans, right? I think the defense here will be the difference, and specifically the Browns defense. The Browns defense have been top 5 all year. They've destroyed team with their defense. I think their defense will be too much for the Texans. Not to mention, last time Amari Cooper played the Texans this year, Texans couldn't do nothing to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, if Amari Cooper specifically, comes back, I think the Browns run away with this. If not, it'll be a tighter game, but I still think they win.
Yeah, because as much as I want the Texans to win, especially it being a home game for Texas, I can see them playing those real hard games. But as much as I want to promote the Texans, I don't think that I can do that. The Browns just, they come to mind more of being the winners.
Gotcha. Yeah, and
of this matchup.
That's why I chose them. I think they have the better team overall.
Yeah.
But Texans have surprised a lot of people this year as well, so I don't count them.
Oh yeah, no, they've pulled it away from a lot of people. I mean, Texas wasn't really on my list.
Yeah.
Especially if the Browns defense does go crazy, then Texas is going to have a hard time.
Yes, definitely. Moving on to the next game, Dolphins, Kansas City. Dolphins actually during the week signed 2 linebackers, Justin Houston and Bruce Irving, as they themselves have 3 linebackers that are out for the season with injuries.
Dang.
And those being Jaden Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Andrew Van Jinkle? Van G.
Van G.
Van
The
G.
G.
Yep, exactly. Andrew Van G. That sucks for the Dolphins because their defense is also kind of questionable. But them signing this is saying they want to obviously succeed in the playoffs, and they're in the ball game here to possibly go to the Super Bowl. Would this be enough against Kansas City? What do you think here, man? Because it is the defending and reigning Super Bowl champs.
I definitely had Dolphins beforehand. But now I think I'm gonna go turncoat on this and say Kansas City runs away with it.
Oh, you're gonna switch it up on them.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Dolphins are playing 2 new linebackers that they're not used to running around with. I mean, there's only so much time that they can put in with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're going to be decent players and have an understanding of the freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
It's their job. But getting everything executed how Dolphins may expect might be a little bit rough. But they also could be a wild card and pull it away and be the key victory for why the Dolphins run away with it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think I got Kansas City on this.
This one's a tough one because, one, I don't hate Kansas City overall. I just want them to lose because they're in my division. Being a Raider fan.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if I could trust Kansas City to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins with these injuries is very questionable.
Yeah.
Also, Dolphins haven't really beat any big teams.
No, they've been playing slack.
Yeah, like they beat, I think, 2 good teams, and then the rest were all under 500. This one's difficult. I'll choose Kansas City because it is a Kansas City, and right now it is dead cold. It's colder than here. It's
It's
3 degrees out
F
there.
that. Miami, they're gonna be they're literally gonna need to be having little heater packs inside of their vests, man.
Yeah. I think I'm going Kansas City because they're at home, and because Dolphins defense is very injured. Will they be able to pull it off how they've looked this year? I don't know. If Kansas City, the other thing is Dolphins decided to just slaughter like they did the Broncos earlier in the season, 70 to 20 or 21 or something like that.
So the Chiefs did win the Dolphins earlier this year, 21-14.
So it was a close game.
It was a close game.
Click on the game. Where was it? Scroll down. All the way down.
Oh, I got more team stats. That's
no stadium. It says in the bottom.
Whatever that is.
I think that's Miami. Yep, that's Miami.
Oh, no, it was in Germany.
Oh, they played in Germany, neutral field. Okay. Yeah, I don't think just because in Casey, I got him. As much as I would like to see the Dolphins win. All right.
As much as I would like to see the Dolphins win as well, I think I got Kansas City on this.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's move on to Sunday's game. The first one, the one I know you're looking forward to. Steelers at Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, this is going to be a game that I'm going to be at least keeping up with and watching. Mm-hmm. And we won't have work, so
yeah,
I might be going out to the bar with Clay to watch it.
Nice.
Give my cousin some shit.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes. Definitely hitting up Clay tomorrow and being like, "What's good? What's up? What's the move?"
Well, we are seeing him tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm gonna start the conversation.
Gotcha. But with that being said, sorry, before we continue, I want to talk about some injuries that popped up. First, the one that just popped up today. Bills, unfortunately, have ruled out wide receiver Jay Davis and safety Taylor Rapp. Definitely a big hit defensively. Jay Davis is a okay to very good receiver. Too good. They have other weapons, obviously, they could go to. But this still puts a damper on the Bills. But the Steelers are also not going in full blast either. They have safety Mika Fitzpatrick is set to return for the Bills game, but their linebacker and their sack and disruptor machine T.J. Watt is out with a knee injury.
That'll be really freaking good for Josh Allen and everybody in the. Let everything get darker.
The light went off. Give us a second. We're gonna try to get this fixed. So we'll be right back in a few.
Welcome back. We were talking about the Steelers-Bills game.
Yes.
Let's get right back into it, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying before, it went off again.
Oh, okay. Well,
something is off.
Either way, we're going to keep running this show.
Uh-huh.
We tried figuring it. Don't know what's wrong. Pretend like I'm brighter than I am.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're going to have some lighting issues here. It might be burned out, but we'll continue here with this. Yeah, TJ Watt is a monster on the field. So him being absent for this game is a big, big deal. I think because of this, I will be choosing the Bills. I was already leaning towards the Bills. Now it's 100% the Bills to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, I might even be going to the mall, picking up a Bills hat just to wear the Bills hat, man. Because I don't have a lot of Bills merch. I mean, I don't have a lot of football merch to begin with, but Bills merch, something that an honorary member should have, I feel. And I don't have Jack.
Yeah, definitely. But, so we both got the Bills. Excuse me. The next game on Sunday is the Packers and Cowboys. It seems like both teams have not many injuries to talk about. So I think this would be just a straight game, and it went off again. Something is up with it.
Oh, well.
It's annoying. But we'll figure this out eventually.
We gave it a try.
Yeah.
Either way.
So like I was saying, the Packers and Cowboys both seem to have full health. Maybe possibly some injuries here and there, but
everybody's a little banged up. You just went roughly 18 straight weeks while playing.
Exactly. I think here, with the inexperience of the Packers and the Cowboys playing very well, even though like Miami, they have not won much, or big games at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see here if they played during the season. They did not. So this will be a first-time matchup this year. I have the Cowboys here. I think their defense is much better. And their offense is also not much, but better than Green Bay's.
I just plainly think that the Cowboys are a lot more put together than the Packers are this year. I don't feel like they even... Granted, they made it into the playoffs, but I don't think that they deserved to be there. They didn't...
No, I agree as well. They had a lot of ups and downs. I'm talking about Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, the inexperience and the ups and downs, and obviously the much better overall team, Dallas. I have to give it to Dallas, no question. And then the last Sunday, which is a great storyline, Rams versus Lions.
Oh yeah.
This is their ex-Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford coming back with the Rams, who he was traded to, and he won a Super Bowl for, to his old team at their house. I mean, and also the Lions quarterback was also the Rams quarterback before. So they switched quarterbacks. Rams won a Super Bowl. Lions are finally looking good. I mean, you can't write this any better.
No.
I mean, but regardless, who do you have here? None of them have many big injuries that we could see. They're obviously banged up. It was a long season.
Oh yeah, and the Lions played for everything that they freaking had, man.
Yes, they did. For me, this is gonna be a much closer game than I want. But I've been rooting for them all year, and I'm gonna do it here. I'm going for the brand new Lions. How about you, brother?
Man, I agree with you. They're not the lame old Lions.
No, they're not.
The Rams, they've been putting up some good fights here and there, but the Lions have just been killing it. They got the home team to get them going and keep them going. I think I got the Lions on this. Rams, it's definitely going to be a really close freaking game.
Agreed.
Too close for my liking. I'm expecting, overtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. That is always a possibility. But yes, I think it'll be a very, very tight game. But you also have the Lions as well, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we got? Okay, perfect. And now for the final game this week for Wild Card Weekend, it's gonna end up on Monday night, the first ever playoff game on Monday night, if I remember correctly. It's gonna be the Eagles versus the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay. The Eagles do have a lot of injuries going into this game. They have quarterback Jalen Hurts with the hurt middle finger. They got wide receiver A.J. Brown, right knee. Safety Reed Blankenship, groin. Safety Sidney Brown, knee. And right guard Cam Jurgens with an eye injury. That is a list. And not just a lot of people that don't matter. These are a lot of their...
Man, coming into this, I had the Eagles. Also, real quick to make an amend, the first ever Monday Night Football playoff was Rams Cardinals back in 2022.
Okay, good check on that one. Good check.
But I had the Eagles coming into this as I didn't trust the Bucks. Now I don't trust the Eagles because they have
so many injuries.
Yeah, I mean, they just grabbed a handful of darts and threw it at the board and said, "You're injured."
I mean, last year they got not lucky because I think they were a good team last year, anyways. But they had a lot of help when they faced the 49ers in the NFC Championship. Yep. All three quarterbacks were down for the 49ers. Like, the injury bug hit the 49ers hard, and they could not even throw a pass. That's how bad it was. Now, Karma, it's your turn. Unfortunately, I am in the same thought as you. As much as I don't think they deserve to win, I think the Bucks will win. And the Eagles' great season, at least up to the last 6 games.
Oh yeah.
Will be all no for none due to the injuries, and that's part of the game, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't trust the Bucks as much as I didn't trust the Packers, if that makes any form of correlation here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I didn't trust the Bucks. Now I don't trust the Eagles. They could pull something out of there, but who knows?
Yeah, but those are our picks. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with our picks? What do you see happening here? We already gave you our playoff and Super Bowl predictions in the Monday's video, if I remember correctly. Go watch that. We will not be doing another one till the Super Bowl, till the actual game. In that, I do have the Niners winning in my choice, and you have
The Ravens winning.
Baltimore winning.
I really want the Bills to be there. So Bills are my honorary choice that they're going to be there.
Gotcha.
Realistically, I think the Ravens are going to be going against the 49ers and the Ravens taking it.
Gotcha. I still think the 49ers, but going forward, we're just going to do week to week to wrap up this season. Moving on here, we're going to go into something that I don't know. I feel like it's too much. In the NBA, Raptors coach Darko, however you want to pronounce it, was fined a crap load of money. I'm not saying how much. It's not our part. Remember, we don't like talking about that stuff too much.
But it's definitely something that needs to be addressed.
Yes. He was fined for criticizing the refs. I did see the video of the criticizing, and he went off. I'm not going to lie, he went off. The problem is, who's going to keep these refs in check? Okay? Like, I get it. You want to be, like, some honor or some respect put on the refs. I get it. But who's going to hold them accountable when they fuck up? Who's going to hold them accountable where they seem like they're favoring us, a team? Because it was, I think, 19 free throws at the end of the game given to the Lakers.
Dang.
This is my team, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not defending the refs here, even though they helped the Lakers. If the refs are messing up or calling bad plays or whatever...
A bad call is a bad call.
Agreed. Someone needs to call them on it. And the fact that not only the NBA, the NFL does this too.
Mm-hmm. So I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does NBA source their refs the same way NFL sources their refs?
I believe not.
Okay.
But I haven't looked into it specifically.
So I actually got into this with a buddy recently about how there was also issues in the NFL, same thing, where there were biased calls happening. And I believe it was in the Patriots game. And my buddy, absolutely doesn't like the Patriots. He's a Bills fan through and through.
Yes.
So he has no reason to defend the Patriots whatsoever. And he's just pointing out it's still a bad call. Yes. And he brought up some good points to where the NFL could hire their specific, like, this is your job. Mm-hmm. You don't get hired and outsourced by another company. Because that's what a ref is in NFL. And that's where I was asking more with the NBA is, are they an out-of-source reffing company? Or
that's what I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I do remember Pat McAfee talking about this in his show. Another shout out to Pat. I'm a big fan. If you couldn't tell. But they also talk
Come on, Pat. We got a spot right here for you.
He's too big for us. Way too big.
You punch your ceiling out, man.
Yeah, no shit. But he was saying the same thing. They need to have full-time jobs for these refs. Mm-hmm. During the off seasons, have them referee practices so they could get more accustomed to the calls they need to make, to calling constantly, to knowing what they need to be seeing. But what I'm really talking about this here is the freedom of speech. These organizations, these leagues, these associations, whatever you want to call them, putting a damper on that because they want their refs to look good.
They're not omnipotent beings.
Yeah. Guess what? We see that shit too. Okay? We see that they're busting calls. They're busting up plays with bad calls or letting plays go with what should have been a call. Mm-hmm. The ones that play this game, the ones that coach, the ones that live, breathe this game should be able to call them out. And the fact that they're being fined thousands of dollars for this is BS, in my opinion.
Agreed.
And that's all we'll talk about. That we're not going to go much more into
I could go for another 15, 20 minutes. Cause
so can I, man.
For damn sure, Clay and I went for a good 30 minutes chatting about this shit.
I mean, so can I. As it's just, it's some...
It's shady business, but
yes.
We'll throw it over to TNA Impact.
Yes. Okay.
We're getting some new freaking titles, man.
Yes, they all came out. I wish I had them all here so I could post it up there. I'm gonna see if I could do something real quick. But go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, just drop it. Yeah, up there. Mm-hmm. So you sent me the pictures for the new titles, and man, do they look pretty. I really like the red text for TNA. It is absolutely beautiful. It's crisp, and then just like the embossing, the depth to a lot of the letterings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really enjoying them. This one here, top right, if you end up pulling the same picture,
Mm-hmm.
it's gold with a silver background inlay, and I love it. It's simple, it's unique. Um, yeah, there's just a whole bunch of different other ones up here. World Champ looks awesome. Um, World Tag Team, Division, all of it's pretty. And just drag everything up there.
I'm trying to post it on the video. See if I could do that real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I could. All right. So yeah, I mean these titles. Whoa.
That's because you're searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be goofed now.
Check on the Twitter.
Yeah, it's gonna be goofed.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna go to close up and yours. Yeah. So what we were saying here is, they are gorgeous titles. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to get them up because I've been messing around here. But they are beautiful, beautiful titles. Oh, that's right. We could do this.
Yeah, that's...
Um, where am I? Cool. Yeah, if you could see them up here.
Just use the eyeball on the other stuff.
This one?
Yep.
Nope, wrong ones. There we go. Oh,
That was audio. Yep.
there we go. So if you look here, nope, wrong one. It is amazing. The tag titles are back here. The world champion you can see front and center. The X division here. It is. Oh, there we go. Much better. They are beautiful, beautiful titles. I definitely like the red on those tag titles.
I like the digital media the most personally for me. I just love that gold and silver background.
Yeah, I mean it is. They're so gorgeous. I can't say much more about this right now. That they're so good. Moving on into some more news. Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, has made his New Japan. That will be making his New Japan debut on their show New Beginning versus Dave Finley for the IWGP Global Champion, which he was definitely crowned on Wrestle Kingdom 18, if I remember correctly. But this will be his first match out of WWE and his first match in quite a while. So I'm excited for that. In that same show, pardon me, Matt Riddle, also former WWE star, will be challenging Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan World TV title. That is two former WWE stars in New Japan. New Japan seems to be starting to make a lot more moves now that they're trying to push to global recognition here. In the same show, there's going to be a Wrestle Kingdom 18 rematch of Naito and Sonata for that IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
And then next we have the potential final match for Sting.
Oh, you did mention
and it's going to most likely, this is just a rumor, this is nothing confirmed. We have the tag team match, Darby Allin and Sting versus the Young Bucks. Now, I don't necessarily know what this can provide as a storyline aspect to any of it, but it seems like it'll be a nice, well-off match, something worthwhile at least. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's sad to see Sting go, but
for sure,
no one could wrestle forever. Ric Flair is definitely trying, but he shouldn't get back to the ring. He almost died in his last one, unfortunately. It was bad. But I do see this as a good way for him to go out. I would love to see him in a singles match for his final one, just for his last Raw. Tip the hat and move on.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing with his age, not to mention he cannot go, he could still do very well. But his body has been through decades of wrestling. It is beat to hell. So with this match, Darby Allin will be able to take a brunt of the freaking damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the Young Bucks are also incredible wrestlers, so they could pull off some crazy stuff together, even though Sting is not at full capability. So I think this would be a good way for him to go as well. Speaking of jumping, there is rumors out there, well, more rumors of MJF possibly jumping to WWE. This has been kind of since last year. MJF has been talking about this, and he's proven his worth with his mic skills and been the champion for most of the year. I think there's definitely a possibility. What do you think,
man? For MJF jumping ship to WWE, huh?
Yeah.
We have, did MJF do everything that he needed to do inside of AEW? He did just have what was the championship that he just had?
The AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
And he had a record in the company.
All right. So I definitely think that it is a stage where MJF can move up, and I'd like to think that AEW is a step up from WWE is a step up from AEW, and MJF could be, especially after all of his surgeries and stuff like that, because he's probably going to be gone for like the next 9 months or whatever he needs to take to recover. So jumping ship to WWE could make sense, and then he can also rebrand himself and build himself up to this bigger, battered state. I think that this is a good move for MJF, and especially if he's wanting a different scene, because he can change up everything about what MJF is.
Definitely. I do not think that this is an impossibility, as we've seen before. We saw with Cody, we saw with Edge coming to AEW, so they are switching back and forth. Wrestlers are trying to get more exposure, and they have the companies and the people willing to give them exposure now. So this is a big possibility. But with his injuries, they'll probably set it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The next topic. This is actually the next two kind of are similar.
Yeah.
If you want to take them.
So we have AEW Samoa Joe. He just got the world champ, and he's already being eyed out by Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, and Hook from FTW. So this all happened in a Dynamite show. Everybody came out and they're just like, "Hey Joe, we want a chance at the title. We all belong to it." I haven't seen the clip, but I would really like to see how Swerve reacted to Hangman Page, his rival coming out. And then I feel like Hook being in it, a fatal 4-way might be a really good freaking match, man.
Definitely. I don't think they're going to throw the fatal 4-way right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But that is definitely a big possibility. I do think Swerve, we kind of predicted this, that we kind of see him as the next world champion. So I think he will have a series of matches with Samoa Joe. Possibly his first defense and Joe retaining. And then Joe moving on to some other wrestlers, and then eventually come back to Swerve, where Swerve will take the title.
Oh, yeah. Samoa Joe, he's awesome. But Samoa Joe also had his what would you call it? Dream matchups between people.
Mm-hmm.
So Swerve and Hook, they've already kind of like secured their spots for getting into fighting against Joe, which don't mind me. I love that. I know you're very excited for like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, Okada, all very exciting names. I'm excited to see Kenny Omega more, especially going after something as big as like the world champ title.
Yeah, I mean, I have been a fan of Kenny Omega since, I mean, I think it's been like 5, 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
right before he really got in his stride for the main event. I would love to see him versus Okada though. Samoa Joe versus Okada would be very great. I would also like to throw another name that's not up there, Zack Sabre Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I think their chemistry and their different styles will mesh very good as Zack Sabre Jr. is a very good technical and stiff striker and technical wrestler. Samoa Joe is a stiff striker, very technical, and will choke some motherfuckers out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they'll mesh very good, but I think Joe will take it hands down. But I would love to see that match personally.
Oh yeah. Another great news on all this. I did mention Okada. Okada has talked about and rumored about coming into um, America. His contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling is pretty close to being up. So it is a very interesting what's the word? Transition. It could be a great move for. It's not the word that I wanted to use. Great move for Okada, definitely. Um, change up the scene, as we were just talking about MJF changing up the scene over at WWE. Um, so that would be really exciting if Okada comes over. I know you might be pretty excited for Okada coming over.
Yes, I mean he is probably one of the top 3 to 5 wrestlers the last 20 years. So with that, I think he'll bring a lot of attention, especially from the Japan crowd, which is already very hot here with AEW. But uh, we will have to wait and see on all that. But in other news, unfortunately, we did get a little bit of an injury in SmackDown as Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory had a little bit of a, what do we want to call this?
Dual
Botch,
injury? Yeah.
but it was a dual injury of them going off the turnbuckles and trying to do a Spanish fly in a
Mm-hmm.
sitting position, and they ended up terribly landing it. One landed on their head, the other one landed on that head. So
Yeah, so they were trying to crack some nuts together.
Mhm.
It seems, I believe it was Carmelo Hayes that was up on the top rope. Not 100% sure everything that was happening. We didn't see any clips on it, just something that popped up in the feed. Um, and yeah, refs called it inaction for whatever the situation was. Um,
Yeah. Sorry about that. Our camera's still glitching out.
yeah, so this is what we're dealing with now.
Yeah. But in other news, a little better news in the sad situation. Bray Wyatt, you brought this up. Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt is on a legendary contract with WWE. For those that don't know, it is pretty much when wrestlers are done or retired, they give them a contract so they don't go anywhere else. But in this case, it's mostly to help the family out. He will be in contract, and all the proceeds are going directly to the family. Uh, I know a lot of people have bad things to say about WWE, about supposedly them screwing out people, blah blah blah, doing bad things to other people. This is instances that they do good things for they're pretty much their family too. They're part of the WWE family. So I am, although it's a bad situation because Bray Wyatt died,
Mm-hmm.
this is a positive that WWE is showing that they are also good-hearted. Uh, Other news here. Whoops. Uh, Bobby Lashley and his new faction finally got a name. Uh, the Pride with the Street Profits. What do you think of that name, brother?
The Pride. I mean, I can definitely think of a few words for it. I'm not going to go that far for those few words, but yeah, I have. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most names I've ever heard. Don't
Excuse
die
me.
over there.
Oh, no, you had me choking over here. But yeah, I think it's a good name. I see it as like the Pride of Lions, a Pride of Lions. Uh, Pretty much ipso factor calling their whole uh thing. They're a bunch of lions. I know you're taking it some other way. Don't choke on it.
Hey, no, I'm all for equality and all that jazz.
Yeah, I knew
Um,
where you were going.
Big love, baby.
Moving on to some Jesus, we could go. We're gonna get banned so bad. Uh, but anyways, let's move on to something that you did the research for this, so I'm gonna let you take over here.
Man, I'm excited for announcing some of these shows. Two shows that we already have out. I'm really excited for. Didn't know that they were coming out. I'm a Canadian now. Um,
Hey,
and it is the TED TV show and Echo Marvel. It's just called Echo, but it's a Marvel show. It seems like it's kind of dropped in the Spider-Man Devil. I can't think of his name.
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Daredevil universe. Can't necessarily peg everything down 100% until we're actually in the show, seeing what's happening. But we do have the same actor that did play Fisk inside of Daredevil, inside of Echo. Seems like it's the main.
Character.
He's not necessarily a main character. I think the main character is a hitman, or in this case, a hit woman for him.
Yeah.
We'll be watching this show as it comes out, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
Definitely.
both live right now.
Yeah.
Ted is on Peacock, and Echo Marvel is obviously on Disney Plus because Disney Plus owns everything.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. I didn't. We didn't think much of it at the beginning, but we saw the trailer, and I'm excited for Echo specifically. And Ted, I like both movies, so I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's nothing more I can say about that. We'll be watching both.
I wonder how much there's actually going to be in like a callback, essentially, kind of like a callback. Because I watched Ted 1. I never watched Ted 2. So I wonder if they're going to reference small jokes inside of the Ted TV show. Um, and we'll see how it goes. We're going to be watching it, getting your guys's what is it called? I can't think of words right now.
For
We're going to be getting videos out for you guys.
we're gonna do some reaction and reviews.
Yeah, episode by episode.
Yes. We're gonna be watching a little bit here tonight, and then we're gonna decide which one we'll shoot out first, and then, like you said, episode to episode. I think is what we're gonna do here for this whole
Mhm.
seasons on these two.
And then I just have a little bit more rapid firing. There's a whole bunch of shows that are coming out. I only have until April. There's not much in the month of March that's coming out. There's a lot of, like the drama reality TV shows, CSI. There's some shows that my grandparents they watch religiously as they come out, so I know they're going to be watching them. But a lot of the comedy shows and action shows that I'm excited for personally, we have Has Been Hotel, and they originally were a YouTube channel. Not trying to push a big promotion here for them, but pretty funny. One of my coworkers, they were like, "Hey, you should watch this." I watched it. I loved it. That's coming to Prime on the 19th, so we are, as of recording date, 7 days
7 days
away.
away. Yep.
So one complete week away. I know what I'm going to be watching. Um, after next Friday stream or before waiting for you. Depends on what time it drops.
Definitely.
And one show that I'm excited for you to check out, as the second season is coming out, we have Halo Season 2 coming out. I understand that you have little knowledge of Halo and stuff, but what is your expectations coming into the show?
Well, for me, I did not see any of the first season. I actually didn't even know there was a first season, to be honest with you. I played Halo when I was younger, so I'm expecting a lot of shoot 'em ups, really. But I would also want to know what the story behind it is. As like I said, I never really played Halo besides a handful of times.
We gotta change that. I gotta bring an Xbox over here, man.
Yeah, I mean, Halo deals a lot with aliens, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't play it. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I love it now that I'm older. When I was younger, I was not a big fan of the zombies, the aliens, and all this other stuff. So maybe that's why I didn't play.
Okay, it just wasn't your genre.
Yeah, exactly. But now I'll probably be down to try it.
All right. I mean, I won't ever force you to watch something that you don't want to watch. I'm definitely hoping to punch out some Halo 2 season reviews. So you might just have to suffer through my rambling. Depends on how good I like the show, man.
That's fine. I mean, I'm down to watch and see what it is.
Another good mention is Young Sheldon. They're coming out with a new season. I think this makes season 6 for Young Sheldon. I definitely really enjoyed the show. I really liked how they capped off season 5. Excited to see and surprised to see season 6. That is coming out February 15th. Forgot to mention Halo 2 or Halo Season 2 comes out February 8th. For the next one, we checked out a little bit of the casting list here.
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, February 22nd.
Yeah, I mean, I am a big fan of the animated series. I'm sure you are too.
Oh, buddy, you don't even know.
I figured. Actually, no, I do figure. One of our sessions, you threw out a line from the series, and only my brother picked it up.
Oh yeah, the cactus. It's the quenchiest.
Yes, that line. I didn't even remember it, and I saw the whole thing like 3 times. So, you're definitely a big fan. But I also didn't watch the movie, the live action movie, because of that it was totally butchered. And,
it was rough.
Yeah, and the little bits I did see, not worth me watching it. So it was definitely very questionable, to say the least, that one. But this one looks like it's going to be done to the source material, and it's going to do it justice, in my opinion.
I see a few major things happening here. One, I'm going to knock it back to the movie real quick. The movie was absolutely terrible. I still ended up watching it. The most ridiculous thing that I could ever get, and I couldn't ever get past, is, do you want to know how they pronounced the Avatar's name?
Aang?
Ong. The second that they said Ong, I immediately lost respect for the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I was joking. But within like an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes, I believe, we went from him in an ice capsule to being at the North Pole with Sokka's girlfriend to being in a Earth Kingdom internment camp, all within 1 hour and 20 minutes. I don't even think it was really, really rushed. I wasn't a big fan of it. There was a lot of parts that could have had a lot more whatever. That's not a complete full. This isn't a review on this. Yeah. I'm excited for this one. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I haven't looked into any of that. We did check cast listings.
Pretty good cast listings. We were comparing them to the series, the animated series, and it was pretty good. I mean, side to side, there were some that were a little off. Obviously, they can't get everything perfect. But to me, it gives it a good thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, sorry. and I am also extremely excited about it, as hopefully it does the live action justice. 8 episodes is what it's gonna drop. Uh,
In the show's first season, so they do specify first season.
okay, go ahead.
Here. 8 hour-long episodes. Okay, okay, I can see it. I really can. One of the other big fits, looking at the casting lists, we did see that there are Earth Kingdom characters in the show as their character lookalikes. We don't get like Toph, so we're not there. There was no Toph casting.
Yeah, that might just be a little surprise there.
It could be.
That's fine.
Who would they cast as a little blind girl? Because they can't cast the monk that they've been using for all the Star Wars shows. And the John Wick guy. Oh, I'm sorry, that's messed up to say, but jokes aside, casting list looked pretty good for the most part. Hits and misses as it goes. I hope that they are confident with their casting list.
Agreed. I think they're going to do a good job. But other than that, I think that's all we have.
No, one more.
One more. You got one more. Let's go.
So we have a mutual person that worked with inside of filming this show, and I will be excited to see this actually come to fruition. I've had a lot of hate, a lot of negative comments towards the idea of this being a show and if it was even actually going to release, because recording happened forever ago to my understanding. But Fallout 4, or not Fallout 4, Jesus Christ, Fallout, and don't have like a time schedule. I don't know how much of has been released into the public. This was just a name on a list, and I pulled it. Don't know what time period, how long, because within the Fallout universe, you have several different time periods. Fallout New Vegas is...
in Vegas. Underwater.
No, you're thinking of a different game.
Oh, okay.
Fallout New Vegas, it's... I don't remember how far into the future it is after the bombs drop, but like Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is 200 years after the bomb drop. You see the bombs drop as your character. All this other junk happens, and then you're playing 200 years. So there's... The games take different segments from the shows as time goes on. And I don't remember, or I never read anything on what time period this is. This comes out April 12th. How do you feel about post-apocalyptic America in the 1980s nuclear war, whatever? Cold War. It's Cold War era, nuclear everything. Bombs drop. What do you think?
I mean,
I built all that up for
I mean, I am interested to see how this show goes out, because I do like some post-apocalyptic stuff, like Twisted Metal, pretty much, is a post-apocalyptic. Some Mad Max I'm a fan of. Not everything, but I am a fan of that. Which one was all? Idiocracy is also technically a post-apocalyptic.
Oh, I need to watch Idiocracy again. That was such a good movie.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, there's a teaser trailer that dropped a month ago. We'll have to watch that after this.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, not the biggest fan of post-apocalyptical stuff, but if it's done right, if it's interesting, I will watch it. So I will give it a try regardless. But yeah, you said that comes out April 12th.
Yes, okay. And apparently the show is set. So the Great War happens in 2077, and the show is set in 2296, I believe. If I'm reading all that, that was a post December 4th. Okay. Either way, so we're well into settlements being established, people having their lives rooted in destruction, not knowing the old world.
Okay, all right. it'll be interesting for sure. But other than that, that was our last entertainment thing. Remember one thing, to take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Because remember, these are just our opinions. Don't get offended, and if you do, move along. We definitely don't need that here. Also, remember to be grateful for what you have.
That's what I meant to point at.
And be grateful for the problems you don't have. Because there's a lot of stuff out there that can make it worse. But, other than that, I've been Lobo.
I've been Jags. I was trying to get something
All right,
cheeky in there.
jump on here.
I've been Jags.
And this was Joker's Wild Side.